Whoa, welcome back. This is not the usual Senate election prediction videos that I do. Those are done and accounted for, and we're all set to go. On those, this is more of a look ahead and a general overview of my thoughts about where the upcoming midterm elections are going. In my midterm election videos, I think that it's going to be on election night or in the days after, because of counting and all of that. We'll be at 49 Democrats, 50 Republicans, and one race, the Georgia race, heading to a runoff. I know that the polling is beginning to indicate that Republicans may, in fact, win the Senate outright on election night, but there's a lot of races that are very close, and I think those races are the ones to really better going to determine it. You could end up with a scenario where Democrats get 52 seats realistically. You could also end up in a situation where Republicans end up winning 53 seats. I think more realistically, though, 52 is probably the ceiling for both parties. On the House side, we all know the math. Kevin McCarthy needs 6 seats to take back the majority for the Republican Party. And generally in a midterm election, the president's party suffers double-digit losses in the House. The only presidents in modern times that have not escaped this trend in their first midterm is FDR and George W. Bush. And that was in the depths of the Great Depression and following a terrorist attack where the President of the United States had a 66% approval rating. It is not a political, like, oh my God, we need to type up this president's political obituary if they have a horrible night in a midterm election. Bill Clinton and Barack Obama both had terrible midterms their first time out. And, they both won overwhelming re-elections. So did Richard Nixon. Richard Nixon had a horrible night in 1970, and so it looks like Joe Biden is going to continue, though, a trend that has befallen most recent presidents. George W. Bush is the only one that did not suffer this fate, where they lose the House of Representatives in their first midterm. Bill Clinton in 1994. Of course, Bush escaped it in 2002. He would lose it in the 2006 midterms, but that was his second midterm. Barack Obama, obviously 2010. Donald Trump, 2018. Democrats, for a while, after the Dobbs ruling, it looked like that possibly there was a small sliver that they could outrun the tides of history and keep the Republicans at bay. It was a small glimmer, but the polling seems to indicate that's not going to be the case. And look, there's still evidence that there could be a polling error that shows that Democrats hold on to the House, but I I just believe the political environment at the moment favors Republicans. They're going to win the House. I don't believe the Republican majority is going to be as big as some indicate. And I don't believe that it's going to be as big as it would have been in the spring. I think the Republicans are probably going to have a majority. 10, maybe. Somewhere in the neighborhood of 228 to 230. I think is probably where the Republicans are going to land. Remember that 218 is the majority. That is a majority in the House of that is the majority, 218. And we shall see. In governor's races, I know I usually don't talk about governor's races on my election videos. The Republicans have an incredible opportunity to pick up the governor's mansion in Oregon because of a moderate Democrat running as an independent that is splitting up the traditional Democratic vote. That's how that is going to occur. Against all odds, it seems like that Kari Lake is going to be elected the governor of Arizona. Katie Hobbs has not ran a tremendous campaign at all. And I think her refusal to debate Kari Lake is a big factor in this. I understand why she didn't want to debate Kari Lake to an extent, but it's just it's not a good sign. She should have stood up there and been ready. I think that Florida, DeSantis is going to win that race in Florida with ease. I do not believe at all that New York and Oklahoma are anywhere near close. I know that if you've been watching the news lately, both of those races, people seem to think they're going to be close. They're not. Democrats, Kathy Hochul is easily going to win re-election in New York. And Kevin Sitt, the Republican, is easily going to win re-election in Oklahoma. Yeah. Georgia, on the governor's race there, Stacey Abrams' second run for governor, I believe, has not gone well at all. She's made a lot of mistakes. The second run for governor, I do not think was well thought out. She laid the groundwork for Georgia turning blue with her 2018 run. She did tremendous work. But this run for governor has been a total mistake. Nevada is probably going to flip the governor's mansion. Republicans are they're doing really well in Nevada. Democrats are going to have to work like hell to hold on to that in the 2024 presidential election. Um, Michigan, I think that Gretchen Whitmer is going to hold on to that governor's mansion over Tudor Dixon. Um, Wisconsin, I think at the end of the night, Tony Evers is going to be reelected there. Um, he took down Scott Walker, okay? Scott Walker was really considered, to be invincible. Um, he had always gotten pretty much the same amount of percentage of the vote and same amount of votes everyone in Wisconsin, it was said had an opinion on Walker, and 50% of the state liked him. And Tony Evers took him down. And I think Evers will be reelected. In Wisconsin. Republicans, they, at the beginning of September and the beginning of October, it was not looking good. But they had an incredible closing month, and they closed out this campaign strong. And Democrats did not. I make no bones about it. If you watch this channel and you haven't figured out yet, I support Democrats. I support progressive candidates. We did not do a good job, in my opinion, of explaining to voters enough what the president and Democrats in Congress were doing or trying to do to help them in their everyday lives. I think a little bit of Democrats talking about they feel voters' pains. Bill Clinton, once in a presidential debate said, "I feel your pain." It'd have been great. It would have done wonders. And I was an advocate of Democrats going hard on, focusing on the Dobbs ruling. But Republicans grabbed on to inflation and crime, and apparently that's what voters care about. I have deep concerns about what the Republicans winning back the House of Representatives is going to mean for the country and for the world. So I'll see you all after the election, and we'll talk about the results.